Hey friends, Pastor Josh here, and this is the weekly update for Redeeming Grace Church. It's Monday, March 7th, and just a few quick things for you. One is that we're going to be baptizing on Easter Sunday, and so I would invite you that if you have not yet been baptized as a believer in obedience to Jesus, that you consider that you pray about it. I've got some resources that I would love to put into your hands as you pray and think through whether you're ready to make that big step in your discipleship journey. I know that we'll have at least one on that day. We're hoping that there would be a bunch. That would be wonderful if there was a number of adults and students who were willing to and ready to be baptized as we celebrate the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. We also witness the fruit of his death and resurrection in the death and resurrection of individuals to new life, as is pictured in the gospel, as is pictured in baptism. Baptism is how the gospel is made visible. This message, this spiritual reality is made visible in baptism. That's why Jesus gave it to us, is because we're physical beings, and he gave us a physical symbol to demonstrate the spiritual reality that has gone on inside of us. So it is a precious, precious gift, and I want you to have it if you haven't yet experienced baptism. Another thing is that our Discover RGC seminar is going to be at 9:15 starting, March 20th. So during the growth class hour, I'm going to walk through the membership materials and information about our church. And so if you're interested in knowing more about Redeeming Grace Church, that's why we call it Discover RGC, then I would encourage you to consider coming for at least the 4 Sundays from March 20th to, I think that's April 10th or so, and getting to know more about Redeeming Grace Church and how to be a part of it in a formal way. Attending the class doesn't commit you to membership, but it does give you the behind the curtain realities of how our church actually is structured biblically, and why it is the way it is. It's a place for you to ask questions, a place for me to present what I love about our church and why we are the way we are. So would encourage you to consider jumping in on the Discover RGC seminars starting at 9:15 on March 20th. Hopefully that makes sense. Another thing is that we will be hosting Secret Church, which is a simulcast with 50,000 other people in countries around the world, doing intense Bible study from about 5:30 p.m. till about 10:30 in the evening. It's interspersed with prayer. It's an awesome opportunity to, in a sense, experience what the secret church, what the house churches, what churches in persecution experience through intense Bible study in these small groups and prayer. It's to try to simulate and in solidarity join with our brothers and sisters who often can only gather once in a while, and when they do, they want to spend hours and hours and hours studying the Word and getting to know each other and fellowshipping in that way. So this is our opportunity in solidarity and prayer with them to experience that same reality in a very watered down version for sure. But it's a great opportunity. You can go to rgcrc.org, click on events, and register there. I would love to have our ministry center full of people who are dedicating one evening to deep Bible study and prayer, along with Christians from around the world doing the same thing for persecuted peoples around the world. So would just encourage you to consider that. One last thing is that we're going to be in Genesis 38 and 39 this coming Sunday, which has the Judah and Tamar as well as the Joseph and Potiphar's wife situation. So there's a lot of sexual content in these next 2 chapters. As I handle that, I won't shy away from it, but I also won't make it overly graphic. And I think what I'll do is the next update video for next week is I'll actually handle a few questions that come up from these 2 texts that maybe are a little more sensitive, and then we can kind of keep it family friendly on Sunday to the best of our abilities, but then also in the video, some questions that kind of come up about sexual sin and about some of the temptations that are faced in those 2 chapters. I'll use this next video, and then you can decide whether you need to have the earbuds in or whether this is the scope to which that content goes out. So that's my plan for this coming week. So parents, be warned, we will be getting into and using some words and some themes and some scriptural events that may bring up questions with your kids, but I'm going to try to keep it appropriate to the room, and then look at the following update video to handle some more sensitive things, and then you can have control over that and what your kids do and don't hear. And so just FYI that's coming up. It's going to be fun as we continue to journey through Genesis. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for being a part of Redeeming Grace Church. Would encourage you to find ways to increase your level of commitment and enjoyment of the church. The more committed you are, the more refreshing and enjoyable the church is. So if you don't give regularly, consider giving. If you do give, consider giving more. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Consider serving in some way. We have lots of needs within the church, and all you need to do is let me know that you're interested, and I can plug you in some way to do spiritual good or physical good for someone else. And maybe consider joining if you haven't joined yet. Join a small group. Join the church formally through covenant membership. Join a furniture delivery team. Join in a Bible study, a men's group, and just invite each other out for coffee or lunch. Man, there's just so many ways that you can, if you can invest more in the kingdom, then you'll receive more joy and growth in your spiritual life by being engaged. So anyway, hope you have a great week, and I'll catch you Sunday.